Hi everybody, it's Doreen, and no, this isn't a Christmas card. I just realized that in the middle of making my Christmas cards that my brother-in-law's birthday was coming up, and I know I needed a quick and simple card to make so that I could get back to the Christmas card series. So what I've done is I've made a card where you're not using the Gypsy, the Cricut. You're just using elements from a paper pack. So come on and join me, and I'm going to show you how to make this quick and easy card. Okay everybody, so I'm going to go ahead and bring up the supplies so we can get started making the card. Now as I said before, this card is the simplest card that I've made to date. And it's because I needed to get this done as soon as possible so I can finish and continue with the Christmas card series. So this card involves not using the Gypsy or the Cricut. It's involving just using the paper pack that you take the elements from the paper pack and build your card off of that. So I got this paper pack. It's a DCWV and it looks like this, and it's called the Guy Stack. And I really like this for making cards for mails because I have such a hard time trying to figure out what to make or what type of card to make for a mail. So this is some of the papers that are in this paper pack. So what I've decided to do was build my card off of the elements on the paper stack. So we're going to make a really quick gatefold card. So I bought the gatefold back. So now my paper measures 8.5 by 5.5, and I've taken it and scored it at 2 1/8 and 6 3/8. And then once you do that, you fold in, and that's the beginning forms of your gatefold card. So now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and add our side panels. And these are my panels. And what I'm using is this sheet right here. So I've taken all of my embellishments to my card and used this cardstock right here. So I'm going to go ahead and get some tape on my panels, and if you followed along before with the gatefold cards that I did for Thanksgiving, you know that this piece measures 2 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and I'm just going to go ahead and get some tape on here so we can go ahead and put our panels on. And I'll go ahead and get some tape in the middle here, and I'm going to just go ahead and get my tape on both panels so I can put them down without having to stop and add my tape. So now let's go ahead and add the first panel. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the right side first, and as we flip it over, it'll be on the left, but it's actually the right side when the card is facing you in the gatefold position. So I've got that one on, and now I'm going to go ahead and add my other piece. And I'm going to line this up and try to get my panel the same height as the other one. Now, what I've also done is I've gone ahead and inked my edges using the Tim Holtz Gathered Twigs ink. So now that we've got that on, we're going to go ahead and start working on the rest of our card. So now, this piece measures 3 inches by 4 inches, and I'm going to put my gatefold card aside for right now. And this layer measures 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, and this will lay on top of here like so. And then this piece right here, what I did was, I really didn't measure this. I just knew that I wanted the 3 ties from the cardstock. So I kind of just went along and I cut off the polka dots at the top right here. And I just lined my paper trimmer in to cut just along the top layer of this color right here. And then I did the same thing, except I added just a little bit more at the bottom of the polka dots because I want to go ahead and put a sentiment right here. So I don't have an exact size for this, but if you have that paper stack, you can go ahead and measure it yourself to make it fit. And you don't have to use this. You can actually rubber stamp something on here, on this top layer here, or you can take the Cricut as I did when I did the Thanksgiving cards. So I'm just going to line this up, and I've gone ahead and inked the edges all the way around with the gathered twigs, and that's how I want it to look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and go ahead and put this layer on top of here, and then we'll add it to the 3x4 piece. So let's get some tape on this piece right here. And then we can go ahead and add it to our very top layer. So I'm going to line that up and then just go ahead and add that. And the ties have a embossed or a raised effect on them, so I really like the way this paper works out great for a male card or a masculine card. So now we can go ahead and we can add that to our bottom layer. But before I go ahead and do that, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and stamp out my image that I have to go on the bottom here. And this image is from a Stampology set that I picked up, and I've used this before. If you go back and look at the bridal shower card that I made for my daughter-in-law, I used the same exact greeting. And I'm just going to line this up. So I'm going to need to pull this toward me just a little bit. I'm not going to do any measuring or pull out my Stamp-A-Majig. This is so tiny that I think that I can get this in the spot that I want it. And what it says is a day to celebrate. It looks like this. So let's go ahead now and add this to our bottom layer. And once again, and the cardstock that I'm using is some scrap cardstock that was given to me when one of my girlfriend's office was cleaning out their supplies. She offered the cardstock to me. Everybody knows that I make a lot of cards, so they're always offering me cardstock. I have enough to last me a lifetime. I don't think I'll ever use up all the cardstock that I have, and I continually keep buying more because I feel you can never have enough cardstock. Okay, so now that I've got that down, I'm going to go ahead and add that to the gatefold. So now remember, you're only going to add on your left side because you want to be able to open the card like so. So let's go ahead and I'm going to mark with a pencil where I want this to line up. And I think I'm going to have it line up right there. So I'm just going to take my pencil and make a light pencil mark like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my tape gun and flip this over, and then I'm just going to add my tape. Now remember, you're only going to add the tape halfway because you want it to be able to open. So now I'm going to open this up and just line this up where I have my pencil mark. And then I'm just going to press down. And there you have your gatefold. So now for my inside sentiment, I'm using a sentiment that I got from Joann's. It's a Fisker. It's called Make-A-Wish Quotes. It has several different birthday quotes inside. And I've used this several times before. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up my stamp. And this time I'm going to use the Tuxedo Black Memento ink because the cardstock is brown on the inside, and I know that gathered twigs will not show up. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up my stamp. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull up my mat, which I didn't do before when I did my greeting on the front. And I've had several people ask me about where I got this. This is actually some fun foam. It's a fun foam mat. It's the 6-inch thick fun foam. And I actually bought this because I was going to use it to cut up something in Mr. Bond. And I never got around to it. And I happened to have it on my craft table. And I went to stamp down something while this was on my craft table, and I found I got better coverage when I did that, so I've been using it ever since. So, and I picked it up at Joann's. They have them at Michael's too for like, I think it was $1.99, and of course I had a coupon. So that's it. My stamp says, "There is still no cure for the common birthday." So that's it, everybody. That's my quick and simple easy card that you don't have to even use the Cricut or the Gypsy. You can just take your paper pack, go through it, and pull your elements off the paper pack like I did. So thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.